This AgVision program is made possible through the generous support of Syngenta Seeds NK brand. The results you need, the freedom to choose. And by Farms.com. Ag news, market prices, ag careers, and farm real estate. You'll find it all at Farms.com.
Recently, we visited the Richard Ivey School of Business, where Syngenta puts on a management university of sorts. We asked farmers why they invested 4 days of their time to take this course.
My name is Günther Jochum. I farm in southern Manitoba, just outside of Winnipeg, about 15 minutes. And we have 3,100 acres, grain farm, small grains, winter wheat, spring wheat, oats, sunflowers, canola, perennial ryegrass.
We're in Western Canada, just north of Calgary is where our location's at, predominantly coarse grains farm, and we've recently, like I said, with my brother-in-law there and father-in-law, we've expanded to a second location in northern Alberta as well.
We're a fourth-generation farm in central Saskatchewan. It's a dryland grain operation. It's a diversified operation with some added value ventures as well, and it's a multi-partnership as well with a father and two other brothers, and a very dedicated staff.
Live at Brunner, Ontario. Operate a cash crop beef farm, and on the side we do custom planting, combining, harvesting, a little bit of manure spreading, and also sell seed and fertilizer on the side.
What we're going to ask you to do is spend 10 minutes and help us evaluate.
How it came about was an unspoken need and want of the grower. You know, a lot of times we hear the spoken want given with product and product design. Well, here was a case, just listening to the grower and on the farm calls and the feedback, what they were really asking for, help us manage our business. We know how to grow a crop, and we're really good at that. We know how to harvest a crop, we're really good at that. But what we're not really good at is succession planning. We're not really good at communicating with each other on the farm. What we're not really good at is financing and really understanding that. Yeah, some of us are accountants and that sort of thing, and we can work it through. But then when we look at investing money and where we should invest it, sometimes we fall down there.
There's lots of generic programs, and when I found out about this program, I was really intrigued, first of all, by a location. I mean, Ivey Business School speaks for itself, and then I was just intrigued with what they were going to do here. It wasn't just your generic, we'll teach these guys some management courses, and I was really intrigued on the first day when Don Barkley said, we're not here to teach you anything, you're here to learn.
We're in a continued growth stage of our operation, and so managing growth and managing the finances that go along with a growing business is an ongoing issue in our operation that we wanted to make sure we had complete understanding of, and watching where we're going and understanding why we're going there, and trying to determine what is success, and if we are successful, what does it look like, and what is our goals.
You know, I'm coming at this from a young producer, and we just came through probably 3 of the worst years in the 100-year history of our farm, and in an environment that there's a lot of hurdles. So you better be sharp. Margins are thin. The opportunities, I believe, in the future are very bright. But we need to be there to capitalize on that. So when you look at a real capital-intensive business, people think of farmers as, I have carpal tunnel from not operating a tractor, but from running a mouse on a computer. And as a joking aside, but that's the nature of the business. It is way more involved on the financial end than what one not involved directly in agriculture might think. This is big business, and if we continue to grow the way agriculture is and the requirements, I still don't have the skills that I feel that I'm going to need to take our family operation into the next level.
You start asking yourself the question, what does keep them awake at night? What are their challenges? And what starts to come out are managing people on the farm, because it's not just a family farm anymore. I have to hire people, I have to develop them, I have to motivate them, I have to reward them, I have to recognize them. And that's very different for a lot of growers.
Interesting.
We've got farms of 23,000 acres, and you and the kids are not just going to manage that farm.
I was a little apprehensive about going to a school per se because it wasn't my favorite thing when I was younger, but this definitely was a unique learning experience because I found it really interesting to be able to share with farmers from across Canada and realize that we all work with the same issues, and they maybe had better weather than we did this year, but they know what wet weather's all about, and there's challenges with labor and to find people that are skilled to do the jobs that we need to have done.
The way that we look at it, it's a way we recognize these growers as the top growers in Canada, an elite group they're looking to be sustainable long-term. They're ambassadors in their community, and we're looking to help them be successful in agriculture, because if they're not successful, then our company Syngenta is not successful.
And so we went through this exercise where we profiled ourselves, and at first you sit there, you kind of go, how is this going to figure out who I am? And I was floored when it put me in. I was reading through the material, and man, they're describing me. This is it. And so I'm going to take that back to my farm, get my hired hands and my business partners to do the same thing, and it'll be an eye-opener for them. And it makes them understand who I am, who they are, and all of a sudden how we interact with each other and why we do certain things.
And we learned that all industries, all businesses go through cycles, and we're no different. So it's how we deal with the cycles. And
the thing that stands out most in my mind is the quality of people that Syngenta gathered here. It's really a rare opportunity to meet with this quality of grower and producer from across Canada. And we all grow different things and run different operations, but a lot of it is very similar. So to be able to openly share and discuss with such a diverse group of peers was a real opportunity, and for Syngenta to put that opportunity in front of us was feel very privileged and to have been a part of that.
But if there's one thing that I think we all took away from that is that there's a whole new people management aspect of the business that maybe wasn't there even a few years ago. And some of the financial things that came out of it was obviously some of the requirements that we have for banking and financing. It just gave us a little more of an advantage over maybe other aspects of the business that we weren't prepared for. Some of the expertise that we brought here, it was phenomenal. You never have that kind of power in 4 days in the courses I've ever been to.
I learned that to become aware of what's going on around us helps us to make better choices, which in the end gives us better results.
I have to think a lot more about kind of the business model on the farm, where the leverage points are in my financial statement. Should I be managing costs? Should I be looking at other revenue sources? So when you start thinking about what they are concerned about, a lot of it starts to fall into the whole arena of managing a business as opposed to managing the agronomy on a farm. So that's what the pull is.
To date, over 140 growers from across Canada have completed the Syngenta Growers University program. Up next, we'll answer two important questions. Firstly, why defining your farm business is so important, and secondly, why farmers need bags. Across Canada, you're watching AgVision.